We are set to go for Game 3 here at Duncanville Fieldhouse. Court number 5, Josh Haley joined by Steve Braun, the 9th grade boys division. Pool play out of Group M. Home team is the Cedar Hill Hornets taking on the Arkansas Red Storm. Cedar Hill coached by Derek Stovall, assisted by Troy Chambers, and Kamar Brassfield, the head coach for Arkansas Red Storm. He's got to be pleased with what he saw from his team in Game 1 as they picked up a victory. And with a win here, Steve, they could essentially put themselves into the championship bracket before they ever even have to play their final pool play game.
Yeah, and after what we saw out of them, I like their chances. I mean, they're a strong team. We haven't seen the Cedar Hill Hornets yet, but from what we saw out of the Arkansas Red Storm, I like their shot. They've got a strong team, a group of guys that can really put some points up and make things happen.
Well, they had a very balanced attack in that first game. 4 players scoring at least 8 points, 7 players scoring at least 7 points. So it was a very balanced attack for them, led by Reginald Dunn, who had a monster second half with 14 points. Speaking of Reginald Dunn, give him 2. Good hustle to get back by Jalen Stovall and win it back for the Hornets. That one won't drop in, but an offensive rebound, and there's the long frame of Daniel Adufawa. Steve, with his frame, he could be trouble in the paint.
Yeah, he really could, and playing for the Hornets. Got great length. Just you can tell by the way he walks. When guys get that big, that fast at that age group, it comes down to, can they just walk? I mean, you can tell just the way they walk if they're going to be able to handle themselves on the basketball worthwhile, and he can go up and get it.
Look at that rebound. Absolutely he can. That's a soaring rebound from Adufawa, and he puts it in.
The old joke that Eddie Sutton, the legendary collegiate basketball coach at Arkansas, Kentucky, Oklahoma State most recently, used to say was, can they chew gum and walk at the same time? And if they can do that, he's got a chance to mold them into something. And there's a lot of coaches that believe that. You can't teach height. And there's a lot of coaches that recruit good height, and he's got it.
Here's a right wing three-pointer that just misses off the back of the rim. It's a 4-2 early lead for the Cedar Hill Hornets. A 2-on-1 effort up and under there, and it just rims out. Jalen Stovall trying to get it to fall.
You can hear Coach Brassfield saying, let's run the offense. Something they haven't done yet. And they haven't let it get away too quick. They have yet to run the offense.
And Steve, everybody knows what to expect when they come into this tournament. Scheduling can be grueling, but it's what you sign up for. And for Arkansas, playing 2 out of their 3 pool games in the first 4 hours of the day. So needless to say, it'll be interesting to see how their legs are as we get to the second half of this game.
I think these kids will be fine going back-to-back games, and since we're doing pool play, it's going to be when they get into the tournament play, how many games they have to play in a day then will really make a difference.
And it really speaks volumes if you can get out to a big lead, maybe late in the game, because you give yourself the opportunity to rest some of your starters and the guys that would typically dominate the minutes in closer games. 4-2 your score. The Cedar Hill Hornets in the purple jerseys with the blue letters and numbers and white trim. Arkansas Red Storm in the neon yellow shorts, the white jerseys, black numbers, letters with red trim. And a 3-on-1 break the other way. There's Stovall going glass. Good finish from Jalen Stovall.
Lynn Waters, he's having difficulty just walking off the court and walking around. I think they're going to get him over to the athletic training room. But
that's tough to see. You know, there's been a lot of hard work put in by every one of these teams and players on the biggest stage, and the last thing you want to see is somebody get injured, especially we're just in the first part of the opening day.
Well, in a lot of these teams, I mean, I think the roster limit is right around 15 or less, and a lot of teams carry less than that. So you suffer an injury, that can really impact how your team goes on throughout the game. After a great block there by Adufawa for the Cedar Hill Hornets. I think we're going to have a lot of fun watching Adufawa. And this kid doesn't have a lot of length, or doesn't have a lot of size per se, but he's got a lot of length on him as he gets the shot off there.
A lot of wiggling inside to find a little bit of space. But it would have been a tough shot to finish and not able to do so. Both teams, though, they're not afraid to run. They are getting after it early. Here's a break. Trying to spin the other way and getting fouled on the play with Sanias Brown.
Good job by Brown there just to hesitate just enough to draw the defense in and make the contact as he went up for that layup.
Body language don't say killer to me right now.
So Brown will take a trip to the line.
Hey, get Reggie out.
First one missing front iron.
Make the free throw.
We play 16-minute halves.
Don't cheat up too hard.
Foul situation, there's only the double bonus. So once you reach 10 team fouls in one half, you put your opponent into that double bonus as the second one goes down for Brown. 6-3 lead for the Cedar Hill Hornets. Nice move inside, and it just rolls around the rim and no good, but getting his own rebound. Adufawa putting it back up. Shot is not there. Another offensive board. They get it back to Adufawa. And instead it skipped out to Stovall after a deflection, but still not able to get it to go.
That's one thing that Adufawa, as he matures, he's going to gain weight. He's going to put on some bulk. But right now, rail thin, and it makes it difficult. You get up in the air, a guy that size, you get bumped, you're going somewhere. You're not going to hold steady in the air. But he's got a great motor. I mean, he's got a lot of energy. As Brassfield gets the steal, tries to float one up there, and his dad asking what's that from him. Coach Brassfield, they're not having success, so he's changing things up. Try to get guys in there. Let's see if we can get a spark going. We're only down by 3, 5 minutes off the clock already. See what we can do. Try to get a combination in there that'll provide a little bit of energy.
It's always a little more entertaining when you have a coach's son, because the coach is bound to be a little bit harder on him. He doesn't have to check and see if it's okay if he talks to him a certain way. He checks with himself and says, yeah, I approve, and I'm going to be hard on him.
Yep. But you can also see Cameron Brassfield, the son, being pushed. It's led to a lot of success for him already. Knocks down that 3 at the other end. And then he gets out to the fast break. Not a great layup attempt. That's going to get a talking to. He doesn't understand why he's getting pulled. You got a layup opportunity. You got to just go up strong. Try to lay it high off the glass and hope you. And if you draw the foul, you draw the foul. But a kid with Brassfield's talent and ability, he's able to go up strong and make layups and take some contact and still commit the play. Just not making smart decisions. Both teams not making great choices. You can tell they're young players. Neither team really getting in a groove right now.
Thought about the three and taking too many steps without putting it on the floor was Willis, and it turns it over.
And that's a move that happens a lot. I mean, you see it. Guys get called with that a lot, and it's just a matter of not putting the ball on the court before you take that step off your pivot foot.
Friendly roll there was Sturvin Smith getting the bucket.
We saw this pressure from the Red Storm earlier. They have the ability, able to create their offense out of the defense.
Nice drive and a finger roll that goes off the glass for Clayton Murray, and this is a good stretch for the Arkansas Red Storm. They now lead it 10-6. It's an 8-0 spurt, Steve, and this is somewhat similar to what we saw from them in the first game. They were a little slow getting out of the gate, but quick to get their feet under them, and now they're on cruise control.
Well, Coach Carmar Brassfield does a good job. He understands what his team brings to the court, what they can do. He's not afraid to pull guys out. I mean, he's got a lot of good players. We saw that they are a team that spreads the points around. They're in and out a lot substitution-wise, but he's not afraid to go to substitutions, change things up, get guys in there. He has a feeling that every one of these guys can play together in whatever type of combination he throws at them.
And they're putting a lot of pressure on the ball. They're not allowing any space, even when the Hornets are keeping it out there on the perimeter. But there's a drive to the left side, and it's dropped in. Give the bucket to Jared Stovall, his first of the game.
Both Stovalls with points now.
Thinking about the three-pointer there and then choosing to drive in, but nothing but tall bodies there inside. Will be a foul charged to Cottrell. That foul will be charged to Clayton Murray. 2 quick team fouls against the Red Storm. We're under 9 minutes to play here in the first half. 10-8 your score. There's a long three. Ooh, it's no good for Jared Stovall. Cottrell tumbles to the ground hard.
Cottrell, a guy that we talked about in that first game for the Red Storm. Great size, excellent size. I mean, real big guy, thick body, guy that has the capability to really be something special. And when they're now joking about that foul that he committed, but he's a guy that he doesn't need to necessarily leave his feet with that height, that thickness. He can stay up, just make himself big. Put your arms straight up, and then wait till the other guy goes up to jump, because there's not another guy on the court outside of Odufawa for the Cedar Hill Hornets that can match you in height. And few of them can probably match you in height and jumping ability, and Odufawa is the only one.
Here's a three ball on the right wing. Sturvin Smith's got 5 points. Increases the lead to 3. Driving the right baseline that time was Jalen Galloway that couldn't get it to go. Got his own rebound, but a lot of bodies underneath.
Hey, boy, you doing way too much. Doing way too much. Sit down. Hey, Louisville, hey. Louisville, hey. Hey, snap everything. Snap everything. That's right. Watch the slide. Hey, hey.
8 minutes to go here. 3-point game, low scoring contest so far.
Nice follow, and somehow that one wouldn't go down, but guess who's there? Daniel Odufawa with the follow-up, and he's got 6.
6 of their 12, and Odufawa is a guy that it's tough to match up against. And what's crazy is he's had a lot of bunnies that he's missed already in this game. I mean, I would go out and say he could easily have 12 points for the Hornets. So he's a guy that's going to be tough for them to match up against defensively for the Red Storm.
Tyree Tillman's going to head to the line for the Red Storm.
Tillman had 7 points in game number 1.
Second level, Tyree.
3 of 5 from the stripe in that first contest.
Somebody drop. Somebody drop.
Second one goes down for Tillman. And quick drive back the other way. Jalen Stovall has 2 more.
Look up, look up.
Another 3 ball. Clayton Murray from the right wing.
If you're watching at home, as you can see, Red Storm had 5 guys come to the table. As Stovall knocks down that one.
Rebound. Get in there. Match up.
Nice job by Carter there to turn and find the square on the backboard on that easy layup.
Get in there, Stern. Swing it. Hey, stay up, stay up. Back up, Kyron. There you go. Middle. Back up.
Christopher gets the floater there at the other end for Arkansas.
Finding some room inside. That's DeAndre Carter once again. Quick spurt from him with 2 buckets. 5 different players have scored for the Hornets. 7 different players have dropped one in for the Arkansas Red Storm. We're all tied up at 20. Floater in the lane that bounces off the rim, then the glass and won't go in. Long court pass finding an opening to Jared Stovall. Trying to work in transition was a Dufawa. His shot no good. Another one missed from Carter. That ball out of bounds, and we'll have a line change for both teams rather than a substitution. 5 new players coming in for the Red Storm. 2 new come on for the Hornets.
One of those moments where if you were on the bench, you were coming into the game, basically, for both teams. With Odufawa and DeAndre Carter, I would love to see the Cedar Hill Hornets play a little high-low action. I mean, we've seen Carter, what he can do on the block. You move that up to the elbow and put Odufawa on the other block, you could really have something going there that would be really dangerous, I think. They both have good size. They both have good understanding. Odufawa is definitely the better player down near the rim. He's going to be able to go get his own rebound if need be. And I think Carter probably has a better shot from the outside. So if he gets that elbow jumper, he can take it, and you still have Odufawa down there go after it. That is a great give-and-go passing display from the Red Storm. You just have a guy with the talent that Odufawa has to go get it. I mean, you got to think, and we talked about it in the first game, and the Red Storm did an excellent job with it with the pump fake. You're going to have to start doing that with layups. Get him up in the air and then go up and try to get fouled.
Long 3 there that won't go down for Brassfield. And here's a 3 on the other end. Same result, missing. Nice take there by Stovall, and he's got an open lane. Boy, he's got another gear, doesn't he? His second, he got a mid on that ball. He was Very quick to accelerate to full speed. There was nobody catching him.
Hey, let's go, Georgetown.
And back the other way. Sanias Brown puts one home.
Back, Reggie. Right. Oh, Cameron.
We're all tied up at 22, just over 4 minutes to play in the opening half. That three misses. Adufawa paddling inside, carrying somebody on his back. Will it be whistled on the floor? Foul's going to be charged at Dunn.
At one point, Adufawa was just standing flat-footed, rebounding that basketball. I mean, flat-footed, arms up, tipping it around, occasionally hopping, but he's flat-footed at one point. And that's just incredible God-given ability right there.
Transition back the other way, an open lane and a good finish. Cedric Christopher with the basket. Drive inside, won't get that one to fall. Sanias Brown able to secure it, looking to go coast to coast, hands it off at the last moment. And dropping it in for two more is Ross Dedman.
And we're seeing a lot of the same things we saw in that first game from the Red Storm of Arkansas. The defense leading to transition offense, but they're also crashing the boards. Yeah, you've got guys, and right now you've got a guy in Odufawa that's over on the bench that you're able to go after. You're going to be able to go get those rebounds. They've been battling. You just had a guy that's bigger and taller and can go get it a little bit easier. Now he's out. They're capitalizing on it on the defensive board.
Pump faking the three, trying to drive inside, but held at bay. There's an awkward hook shot off the hands of Dunn that misses everything. A 1-on-2 the other way, but still able to draw the foul. Hard collision to the floor. Darrett Willis goes down. Good to see him quick back to his feet as we're under 3 minutes to play. That foul will be charged to Cameron Brassfield. And Darrett Willis to the line. First one misses, no good. Now, we didn't see a ton of three-pointers taken in our first two games today, but we've seen quite a few taken already in this game, but neither team shooting at a high percentage. The Red Storm, the only team that's been able to find the bottom of the net. Clayton Murray with a three and Sturvin Smith with a three as well.
Stovall for the Hornets has knocked down one. Got a corner three, but like you said, not a whole lot of three-point shots as Brassfield shoots one up there. It was a little flat, but it was a good look, and he had the right distance. And like his dad, Kamar, just said, the coach of the Arkansas Red Storm, keep shooting. When you get an opening like that, he's a good shooter. Keep it flowing. Almost on command, Josh. Darrett Willis knocks down a three.
That's the first three of the game for the Hornets, but Brassfield back the other way, gets two of them back. How about another one?
Maybe we're just not talking about him enough.
I tell you, Darrett Willis, 7 points in the last minute. Brassfield the other way.
Come on, Cam. Don't take that shot no more.
Look at that block.
Oh.
You heard a lot of ball there. Reginald Dunn able to swat it.
I think he got a lot of hand, though, or a lot of arm, too. And maybe one of those that the hand's part of the ball. I don't know.
Wow. A teardrop from Reginald Dunn.
He has got the offensive skill set to be able to do things like that. That's just a good shooter. Knowing when you're Willis knew that ball wasn't going in, so the first thing he did, he went towards it. He knew where it was going to go, and he went towards where it was going.
Odufawa got tied up in the lane that time. That's probably the best defense against him, because if he gets those arms fully extended up, it's pretty much good night. He's going to get a shot off.
I really think if you just told a guy, battle him on the boards defensively. They're not trying to work it down to him. I mean, they've yet to run a set piece to work it down to Odufuwa. So get a body on him. Don't let him get down there, and just read where that ball is. Then it's a 4-on-4 game, and I like my chances with how the Red Storm attack.
There's Derek Willis again. He has got 9 points over the last 2.5 minutes. A big reason why the Hornets have been able to take a 1-point lead. 31-30 their advantage right now as we are under a minute to play, and it will be Ross Dedman heading to the line. Try to give the lead back to the Red Storm. We are tied at 31 after Ross Dedman drops in the first. 8 different players have scored now for the Red Storm.
Dunn will check out for the Red Storm. Dedman knocks down the second one. And again, awarding your players for doing good work. Let them sit on the bench. That's what, yeah, you want to be on the court as much as possible, but you should also be working so hard and your team's so deep that you're able to come off the bench.
Nice putback there from Glenn Waters, his first bucket.
Good to see Waters get a point, get back on the court after he went down with that injury early.
Absolutely. Glad that he is okay. As Smith tried to drive inside, had it stripped away. Stovall, the scoop shot won't go down. Brassfield nearly having a breakaway, but just tipped away enough to force the Red Storm, and they will look for the last shot here.
That's the guy I would want to get the ball in his hands. Cameron Brassfield.
How about Smith for 3 from the right side, just off the mark. Full court heave, and that was a little bit close, but to no avail. But the Cedar Hill Hornets with a 33-32 lead after 1 half gone. And Steve, what we understand is that Cedar Hill won their first game by forfeit out of this group. That would mean that the Red Storm, should the team that forfeited doesn't show up, the Red Storm would also get that game win by forfeit. So potentially looking at the 2 teams here that could advance to the championship bracket out of this group and would get that all-important top seed out of the group into the championship bracket.
Yeah, that plays huge to the advantage of the Red Storm should they get that win. And also for the Cedar Hill Hornets. I mean, that would be a good game between them and Houston Takeover in this Group M. 2 teams that would match up a little bit in size. Different styles, though, as well. But like you mentioned, Red Storm sitting in that driver's seat. You win this one, you're in. And that's huge.
So a 33-32 advantage at halftime. We'll be back with the second half after a brief break. You're tuned in to the PrimeTime Sports Network. Back live from the Duncanville Fieldhouse. We've got a tight one here in our third game of the day. 9th grade boys action out of Group M. 33-32 advantage for the Cedar Hill Hornets at the break. A very important game for both teams. Steve, the winner of this game, puts himself in great position to take the lead in this group and potentially get that top seed in the championship bracket. Nice finish off the glass. Having to go high off the glass was Glenn Waters, and we talked about him injured a little bit early in the game, and good to see him back on the court and being productive at that.
Waters understood what he needed to do there. He's a very skilled big man. That's why he's getting the start. I mean, they've got some talented guys that can play in the post for the Cedar Hill Hornets. Waters gets the start, though, and it shows there because he's able to lay it high off the glass.
Sanias Brown missing the front end. Drains the second. Cedar Hill Hornets in the all-purple uniforms. There's a three-pointer from the left corner, and this is an easy breakout. Easy finish for Ross Dedman, who has 6 points.
Good.
36-35 lead now for the Red Storm. Nice scoop in off the glass. Derek Willis. How about this guy? Steve, he didn't have a point until there was about 3.5 minutes to go, and now he's got 11.
Yeah, really an impressive player for the Hornets.
Cedric Christopher will check in for the Red Storm. Here's Brassfield trying to find something inside. Somehow that one wouldn't go down for Brown. It rims out. Keeping possession, though, a drive inside. How about another chance? Reginald Dunn can't get it to go. It's loose and finally picked up. Here's Willis. And that ball deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with the Hornets.
Good job by Waters defensively down there. Big man that just moved over, established his position, put his arm straight up, let the offensive guy come into him, crash into him, try to draw the charge. If it's not there, turn around and get the rebound. And he was able to do just that.
Here's an open three on the left wing for Stovall, and he drops it in. Jalen Stovall has 11. Willis and Stovall both with 11 for the Cedar Hill Hornets. And they regain the lead, 40-35. Thanks to a three there from Jalen Stovall. Glenn Waters and Derek Willis also with buckets here in the second half. Just a minute 45 gone. And the second scheduled game of the day for both teams. Cedar Hill benefiting from a forfeit in the opening game, while the Arkansas Red Storm took care of business against the Houston Takeover. Breakout for Brassfield. Stovall was quick to get back. Good positioning there from Brassfield.
That's an understatement. Stovall came out of nowhere. Just a purple flash coming across the screen.
There's a three that just rims out for Willis. Good battle for the rebound by Glenn Waters. Couldn't get the shot to go.
You got three courts going at the same time. Sounded like a whistle from our court. It actually was the court behind us. Paused that play just a little bit, but Dunn able to lay it in at the other end after a couple misses.
Once again, it's back to a 1-point game. Drive on the baseline. The floater won't go, but once again, there's Glenn Waters. Able to get the offensive board, and this time he will take a trip to the line.
Cedar Hill has got some really good pieces. And I mean, Waters has turned it on here in the second half. I think he just dinged that knee. Wasn't comfortable. Got braces on him already, so probably is hesitant when something happens to his knee, and for good reasoning. But you've got him, Dufawa, and DeAndre Carter that can all play in the post and are solid players. Then you throw in Jalen Stovall, who's might be one of the quickest guys we see in this tournament. He misses the second one there. There's Waters.
3 on the way from Jared Stovall that will not go. And we'll head the other way.
But they've got some really good pieces in the post, also at the guard position that can make them a strong team, a team that we have to keep an eye on.
Nice pass into the paint. Trying to drive up to the rim was Tillman and couldn't get it to go. Break out the other way. Willis lost the handle right as he was going to go up for it. Unfortunate break there for the Hornets.
And I forgot a guy like Willis. I mean, Willis all of a sudden pours in 11 points over, what, a 5-minute period of game action? I mean, that's what this team possesses. And what's crazy, Red Storm is just as good. Because guys like that.
Nice scoop up and under. How about that from Brassfield?
He's got 9. And as you mentioned a little bit earlier, they quickly got like 7 or 8 guys that are scoring. Foul there on Christopher, just tripped up the player for Cedar Hill Hornets.
Floater in the lane there that doesn't go down for Jared Stovall, and then a foul after the fact. That will be charged to Glenn Waters.
Foul on DeAndre Carter, excuse me. NCAA, they only allow guys to have numbers 1 through 5 across the board. You can't go 6 through 9. So I guess technically you can go 0 through 5.
So an 0 for 2 trip to the line there for Smith. And we remain tied at 41.
And I only mention that because the referees are trying to figure out how to signal in 8, 6, 7 for Cedar Hill. And we're trying to figure out how to read their hand motions for that, along with the scores table.
Good battle inside, but not able to get it to go, and it's kicked out. A 2-on-2 break all the way to the hole. It's Trenton Chambers. Burst of speed from him. And a chance to go for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Brassfield will check out. Clayton Murray checks back in. You make that great play on the layup, you get fouled. Go to the line and shoot an air ball. Frustrating as a player. Good awareness there by the Red Storm to break the press, realize you have numbers and push it.
Sturvin Smith's going to have a go from the left wing. Rebound hauled in by Daniel Adufawa. 43-41 advantage for the Hornets. From right here in Texas, out of Cedar Hill, there's Derek Willis again. He's got 13. Both teams sitting at 1-0 in pool play after starting off the day at 9:10, our scheduled time slot for the first games here on these courts.
9:10 to about 9:20. 12 hours of basketball, start time-wise.
Yeah, Primetime Sports Crew, though, has done a fantastic job of keeping things on schedule. In fact, we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Hopefully that will keep up the rest of the day. And there's a 3-ball. Once again, the whistle from another court maybe causing some guys to stop. It didn't matter much as the ball was already in the air and the three-pointer dropped in and quickly back the other way. Able to finish there was Braylon Cottrell, his first bucket of the game. Adufawa can't get the turnaround jumper to go home. Still a 5-point lead, though, for the Hornets. Drive down the lane is good for Tyree Tillman. 4 points for Tillman, and the lead trimmed down to 3. We're under 10 to play. Look at Willis splitting defenders, going down to the ground, and a foul will be whistled. This will go against
Cedric Christopher. Cedric Christopher picks up his second personal for the Red Storm. Again, a really good game here. 3-point game. Under 10 to go.
Drive down the baseline, wave the basket off. The foul was on the ground.
Who was that on?
It's either Galloway or Carter.
6.
Yeah, DeAndre Carter.
Put up a 1 and a 5. I figured it had to be a 15. Not one of those. Sturvin Smith with the bucket, look like. And he picks up the foul.
Right wing 3 from Stovall. That misses. And, Steve, that goes right back to your point earlier. When a player turns around as soon as he shoots the ball and says, "My bad," to the coach, it's not a good shot, obviously.
Yeah. You got to play within yourself. You got to feel comfortable with what you're doing. Feel confident about it.
Come on, Sturvin, you ball watch. Oh, that's a trap. Oh, yeah, we sitting on that. Get out of there. Go, Karen, go, Karen.
Good job there to find the outlet, man.
Long 3-ball that misses off the front of the iron. Rebound is chased down. Nice job to keep it in bounds by DeAndre Carter, and Willis breaks out the other way. Travel.
Clayton Murray got bailed out there. Murray caught napping, led to the quick pass down the court to the eventual Willis travel, but it should have been easy layup and extend this lead.
So it's 48-47 lead for the Cedar Hill Hornets. Wide open drive there for Brassfield and a good finish. Contested right at the end by Adufawa, but Brassfield was already in deep enough where he had good position. 11 points for Cameron Brassfield, first player for the Red Storm into double digits. This 3-ball misses off the front iron from Stovall. But the rebound tipped back out to him, trying for the bounce pass, and good read by Sturvin Smith to intercept. Here's Murray the other way, knocked away. There will be a foul on the floor. Foul charge to Robert DeLoach. Check that. Jalen Stovall will be whistled for the foul. Pull up, pump fake in the air, and the shot won't go for Tillman.
That's what a Dufawa does. He didn't get a block there, but he got a turnover. Missed the shot, leads to the turnover, and it's Cedar Hill basketball.
That baseline jumper won't go. The rebound tapped around, but fortunately for the Red Storm, the Hornets had already gotten back, and there was nobody there. Ross Dedman looking for somebody to pass it to. He'll just shoot it himself. That one just rimming out, but the rebound is there. Tyree Tillman. 6 points for Tillman. And the lead now up to 3 for the Red Storm. That one somehow doesn't fall down, and a kick out the other way. A 2-on-1. What a pass from Brassfield. Don't know how that slipped through some defensive hands, but Dedman's there to finish.
What a good job by the big man, Tyree Tillman, to get that going. He got the ball, he turned his head, and he looked up court. Found Brassfield. Brassfield realized the second it started coming to him, I got to look for the next guy. Already had it in mind where he was going with it and made the pass.
Rodney Cummings and Reginald Dunn will check in for the Red Storm.
Lock out, two. Drop the ball. Good.
53-48 lead with 6.5 to play. The Arkansas Red Storm looking to win their second game in as many games. What a pass inside, and it will fall home. Sanias Brown with a great assist, and Tillman's able to drop it in.
Tillman has found the hole in the defense.
Nice cut from Brown, and it won't fall. But Cummings is there for the putback. And it's a 9-point advantage for the Arkansas Red Storm. Basketball's a game of runs, Steve. Sometime it can be the one that's the timely run, that is. And with under 6 minutes to play now, a 9-point advantage seems like it's monumental given the closeness of this game.
Yeah, they've been going back and forth. Now you build a nice 9-point advantage. And Tillman has found a hole down in that post defense of the Cedar Hill Hornets. I'm not even sure where it's at or how he's pulling it off. I'm gonna, next time down, I'm gonna pay a little more attention to it, because they found a way to get him the ball in the post, let him build position, and then he's just getting an easy layup. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing. I'm not sure how he's pulling it off. He doesn't have the size of these guys. I mean, I would say the closest guy that he matches up to size-wise for the Hornets is DeAndre Carter, but he's doing it, and he's doing it well. Good lay in there by Stovall. Trim into that lead. Quick reaction.
Dunn shot no good, but a good follow-up. He's able to get his own rebound and a second opportunity. Thought about the three, did Ross Dedman. A scoop shot underneath won't go. And the Hornets will come away with it. Close to stepping on the line and loses control. Dunn's going to come away with it for a moment. It's still loose. And finally taken control of by Chambers. And at the other end, it will go down for a Dufawa.
A good job there by the Hornets. Create buckets. Nice job here by the Red Storm. Sanias Brown slowing it down. They were a little hectic. He calmed it down. He could have taken off to the bucket. He understood the scenario. Slow it down. Play it off. Excellent pass to Dunn. and an easy jumper from the free throw stripe.
8 now for Reginald Dunn. Here's a floater down the lane on the other end from Stovall that won't go. Brown with the rebound, looking to push coast to coast. That floater off the back iron, no good, and Willis will come away with it. It's a 7-point deficit. Willis will slow things down and pull it out. Stovall waiting for some movement. Garrett Willis has been an offensive powerhouse towards the end of the first half and so far here in the second as well. I think this might be the longest possession we've seen of any team in this game. And you know what? It's a good one. There's no reason to rush here. You're trailing. You've got to have a quality shot. Glenn Waters trying to bounce it down, and no question that went off Waters. And we'll come back the other way.
And just as we said that, they made a questionable pass, led to a turnover.
That one will fall in for Brown. Good job there by Ross Dedman. He was thinking about the three and he was listening to his coach. A lot of times these players won't have the awareness to pay attention, but he was listening to his head coach, Kamar Brassfield, and smartly pulled it out.
Did a good job. And Coach Kamar Brassfield, you had a dunk attempt, and the guy barely, I don't know, he probably can dunk. Didn't look like he had much of a chance when he went up for it, and sure enough, he didn't. But Brassfield could have got upset, but he knew that there was enough guys down there. They got the rebound. They reset things. He was all right with that, and he was even applauding the dunk attempt because he also understands they throw that down, that builds the confidence of his team even more.
Thought about the right baseline three, and the drive inside was blocked by Dunn. Nice pass the other way, and a hard foul underneath by Stovall. But it's a 9-point advantage right now for the Red Storm with 2:41 to play. Ross Dedman to the line.
I don't know why. Reginald Dunn's hair makes me think of Josh Childress, former Stanford player.
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta Hawk.
Oh, yeah.
And even his style,
He was a long
style,
frame, a thin guy.
Thin guy. Was able to block some shots, had an offensive game. And Reginald Dunn kind of reminds me of that.
Dropping in the second is Ross Dedman. That shot missing everything and out of bounds. Dedman stops. A couple of defenders take a step by him, and he's able to open up some space and drop it in. 10 points now for Ross Dedman. Another player in double figures now, the second, joining Cameron Brassfield.
This Red Storm team we talked about how good this Cedar Hill team is. You look at the pieces, what they're able to do. Very talented team. Red Storm is just as good, and they're showing it. They just got all the pieces. They're just a well-pieced together puzzle. They may not have separately that great, but you put them together and the group is so strong and so good. Like Cameron Brassfield, he's throwing the ball in right now next to us, right in front of us. He's got 9 points. But he just makes a pass like that leads to an easy bunny layup that leaves Coach Brassfield shaking his head.
Reach and grab.
but he's got the ability. He does so many other things. And so many guys on this team do so many things that you can score 15 in one game and then you only score 9 in another, but your team still wins, and that's what it comes down to.
Rebound there by Cottrell, and he's going to be whistled for over the back.
In the last possession, we saw they got out in the fast break, and Cottrell got going. And he hightailed it. I mean, he got the knees up. He was trying to get down the court. He knew, hey, things are going for us. I might give me an easy one right here. And you can see the air starting to, like we saw in that last game with the or actually in that very first game with takeover. But they've got the air starting to come out of Cedar Hill, out of the Hornets. They don't have as much pep. They're not into it as much as they were about a minute ago.
Murray loses it. Now Chambers driving the other way, and he'll get fouled and head to the line. First trip to the line for Trenton Chambers, who has 2 this half. High arcing free throw goes down. 1:06 to play, a 64-53 advantage for the Arkansas Red Storm. And it was a close game, Steve, for a lot of this game, but I think it speaks high volumes about this Arkansas team to be able to pull away at the end. That's an attribute that not all teams have, but clearly they have shown that here.
Yeah, they've done a great job. They found holes, and it wasn't even necessarily the Coach Brassfield turning around and saying, hey, guys, let's attack here. It was just subtle things. I mean, a guy like Tyree Tillman figuring it out, finding where he needed to be, and doing a good job of finding the hole within the zone or in the man-to-man defense of the Hornets, and his teammates finding it. And that says a lot about the basketball IQ of this Red Storm team.
Good job by Cottrell not to take a shot there, but continue to burn some time off this clock, and Brassfield will be fouled. And in the bonus are the Arkansas Red Storm. Brassfield to the line. He's got 11 for the game. Brassfield once again will take a trip to the line.
That was a great defensive possession. Brassfield looks like he may have hurt his wrist, right wrist. He's walking around, shaking his hand around. He may have done something. Hopefully that's nothing serious.
They can't afford to lose Brassfield, that's for sure.
He is basically an assistant coach in the way that he does things on the court. And knocked down the first, missed the second.
He's been very instrumental in this run in the second half. 8 of his team high 13 have come in this second frame. And one final foul will send Cedric Christopher to the free throw line. Christopher 4 points on the game, all coming in the first half. First one rimming out. Our next game will feature group play from Group O. Hyperfuse against the Dynasty.
Let him go, let him go, let him go.
Long three will not go down, and there's your final, 67-54. The Arkansas Red Storm have put themselves in a great position to take the top seed out of this group into the championship bracket. Your scoring breakdown for the Cedar Hill Hornets, a game-high 16 points from Darrett Willis. What a game he had. 13 from Jalen Stovall, 8 from Daniel Adufawa, 5 from Glenn Waters, and 4 from Trenton Chambers. For the Arkansas Red Storm, a game-high from Cameron Brassfield of 13 points. Ross Dedman chips in 11. 8 apiece for Tyree Tillman and Reginald Dunn. 7 points for Sturvin Smith, 6 for Sanias Brown, and 2 apiece for Braylon Cottrell and Rodney Cummings. And Steve, as I read off that list of names, I kind of look at each one of those players and can think back of a time where they all did something important that helped the Red Storm come away with their second victory of the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've talked about it in both their games now. This is a team, and it's just that. They're a team. There's no one player that you really look at and say, yeah, we've got to stop this guy. Because if you try to stop this guy, another guy's going to step up, and we've seen that throughout. I mean, Tillman comes in. He only has 2 in the first half. Ends up with, 8, I think, on the afternoon, or in the morning. I guess we're still in the morning. But that's what you can – it's spread out scoring. Only 3 guys don't score in this contest, and that's everything you need to know about the Arkansas Red Storm.
So the Red Storm moved to 2-0, while the Cedar Hill Hornets fall to 1-1. A reminder to stick with us. That was just our 3rd game of the day. We've got 8 more to go here on the PrimeTime Sports Network. Our next game will feature group play from O, the 9th grade boys division. The Hyperfuse will take on the Dynasty. Hope you'll stick with us. Until then, for Steve Braun, I'm Josh Haley on the PrimeTime Sports Network.
I'll get Hyperfuse.
Which one's that?
I don't know which one that is.
Yeah,
I think that's Dynasty over there to our right.
Okay.